Thank you all for joining for today's webinar. And today's topic is Mastering Communication Skills for College and Future Jobs. My name is Vishala and I will be your facilitator for the day. I am a program manager at Varthana under the Academic Solutions. As you know, Varthana is a non-banking finance corporation and it supports schools and students by giving financial support in the form of student loans and school loans. For the greater good, Varthana has been conducting a lot of webinars for the last 1.5 years. And for the last 6 months, we have also extended webinars for the college students as well to help them on various aspects and topics so that it will help them both as student and for their career. Uh, just like today's topic, we will also be coming up with a lot of interesting topics in the coming weeks. So stay tuned and keep visiting Varthana's website to know more updated topics that will be, conducted in the upcoming weeks. So coming to today's webinar, I want to lay some ground rules. I want everyone to be participative throughout the webinar. There are a lot of activities, and unless we participate in these activities, there won't be much for us to take away. So request all of you to be participative. Now, another important thing is we will also be requesting for a feedback for you at the end of the webinar. Please fill out this feedback form. It will not take more than half a minute for you to fill this feedback form. However, this feedback form will help us to improve our webinars, choose our topics more wisely so that it can help you. Also, if we can improve the quality of the webinar, that these feedback will give us a lot of insights to it. So take half a minute of your time and fill up this feedback form in the end. For all the participants who stay throughout the webinar and fill up the feedback form, we will be sharing a participation certificate. So these are the two conditions where you'll be getting a participation certificate. One is to stay throughout the webinar. The other is to fill out the feedback form. So please stay till the end, participate in all the activities, and let's have fun while learning. So moving ahead, like we know, today's topic is mastering communication skills for college and future jobs. Going ahead, let me take you through the agenda of the day. Introduction and session objectives will be foremost. Why communication skills matter will be discussed. Types of communication. What are the different ways to develop communication skills? What are the barriers and how can we overcome these barriers to communication skills? And last but not the least, questions and feedback. However, if you have any questions during the middle of the webinar, please don't hesitate. Put it in the Q&A section. We will be visiting Q&A section at intervals, and we will try to answer your questions then and there as well. However, we request you to also come up with major questions at the end of the webinar during the questions and feedback section. Now, without much delay, let's move ahead. Now, I shall be casting a poll just to understand the participant profile here. Please choose the correct option for you, which defines you. What is the highest level of education you have completed? Intermediate, bachelor's degree, master's degree, doctorate degree, trade, technical or vocational training, others. We have 27 participants and we have received only 18 votes. Urge you all to please be participative. This is a no-brainer. You just have to click what is your highest qualification. So definitely go ahead and click your option. I'm ending the poll now and I'll publish the results. We have 72% people who are in bachelor's degree, 18% who are in master's degree, and 4% who are in the intermediate level. Coming back to the webinar, let's look at the session objectives. Today's objectives are to understand the importance of communication skills for college and future jobs. The other one is to explore types and ways to develop communication skills so that it fetches you a good job, helps you to sustain and grow in it. So these are the major objectives we will be covering today. Now, the pertinent question. What do we mean by communication skills? Communication skills are the abilities you use while giving and receiving different kinds of information. It could be when you're speaking to someone, it could be when you're listening to someone, it could be through media, it could be through a direct channel, it could be in person, it could be through letters. So these are the different ways people communicate. Uh, and this will help you in such a way that both the person who has sent you the message and the receiver who has received the message have come to a common understanding. What happens usually is communication gets hampered because of misunderstandings and things like that. However, an effective communication will be successful so that both the sender and the receiver are on the same page. So here again, I will be casting a poll for you. Why do you think communication skills are most important? Most of the people have voted it as both. Some people have said it is very important at work. 18% agree that it is important at work. And 82% agree that it is relevant both at work and in college. If you have any other category where you think communication skills are important, please put it in the chat box or the Q&A section. We will take a look at it. Why do communication skills matter? Most of you said it is important for both work and college, right? So let me see if anyone has a third option here. Someone says everything. Ajay says it's everything. However, I presume, Ajay, when you say everything, it's about your personal life also. Yes, communication skills are not just important at college and work, it is also important in our everyday life. So this is a skill which you just can't ignore. Now, getting back to the webinar, why do communication skills matter? Like most of you said, it's very, very relevant in different aspects of our life. Let us see how it's relevant. In college, communication skills help you with your academic success. If you write very good assignments, you get good grades. If you are able to understand everything that your professor is saying, if you are able to understand all the uh, material that is there in the textbooks and able to comprehend them, you have achieved academic success. If you are able to interpret everything and reflect on it and apply it in your everyday life, then you have achieved academic success. Again, it is important for participation. You participate in different activities during college. It could be fests, it could be events, it could be communicating. It could be a lot of different things where you will be using communication skills. If you're good at your communication skills, you are good at your participation in all these events, fests, and everything. Then comes your projects and assignments, which are very integral to your scores, college score. So here in projects, you might have to talk to your peers. If you're doing a project work in a team, you will have to collaborate with others. You will have to talk to them. You have to put forth your ideas. You should be able to convince your team that this is the best idea, right? In doing so, you have achieved your goal of academic success. Even in assignments, if your assignments are of top notch, if it includes all the elements that an assignment should have, which is basically based on your ability to comprehend and write an assignment, then you have achieved academic success. discussions and debates. Who can deny this? A lot of internal assessments are based on your discussions and debates during your classes. You have an upper hand if you are able to put forth your idea and you are able to convince others that this idea is the best, or this opinion is something which is universal. Then you have achieved academic success. So these are different areas where in college you need top notch communication skills to achieve academic success. At the workplace, maybe you have still not joined the workforce or you're looking to join the workforce. Here you will start with giving interviews. Most of the hirers look at people who are good at communication, how well you present yourself, how well you describe yourself, how well you talk about your long term goals, what do you know about the company where you have gone to apply for, what do you want to bring to the company as your skill set, and how do you propose to grow in that company and contribute to the same. All these are things that are encompassed in an interview. If you have attended our previous webinar, how to crack an interview, you must have understood how important the communication skills are for cracking an interview. Again, your presentations, when you're working and your superiors ask you to present all the data and all the projects that you have worked on, it again requires a skill. How well you present, how well you put forth your ideas, all that depends on your communication skill. Stakeholder communication, you are not working in silos at a workplace. You have peers, colleagues, you have your superiors, you have people who report to you, and you also have external stakeholders with whom you communicate very often, right? So how do you communicate with them? What is the language? When I say language, it is not Hindi or English. I'm saying how well you speak with them, or how do you gather data with them, how do you dispense the data that you know. All of this comes under stakeholder communication. During brainstorming in your company, when you start a new project, or you are about to start a new project, or you have identified a problem for which you have to come up with a new solution, you need to brainstorm with your team. When you're brainstorming, you should know when to listen and when to speak. You should know what to speak and how much to speak. All this will come to you when you're good with communication skills. Conflict resolution, when you know you're working with others around you, there are a lot of situations when there is a disagreement between a lot of things, right? How well you resolve a conflict, how soon can you come to an understanding or a consensus, depends on how well your communication skills are. And then last but not the least, networking. If you have to bring more people into your network, you should be a good communicator. This is something which can bring a lot of people into your network. So not just this, a lot of uh, hiring people look at your communication skills, especially your written and spoken skills, before they hire you. That those are one of the top skills that hiring people look at. So this is something you can never discount. You have to keep honing these communication skills again and again. Let us look at what are the different types of communication. Um, we know is speaking is communication, right? In the real world, that's something that we often come across. If you speak well, people say that you communicate well. That's not the case. Let us see what are all the different aspects, or what are the different types of communication. First and foremost is the listening skill. If you have to communicate well, then listening is of utmost importance. When the other person is speaking, it also requires an audience. So communication is not one way, it has to be two way. When someone is talking to you, you will also have to respond. Before responding, you need to understand. Hence, you need to actively listen. Hearing and listening are two different things. You can hear the noise of a vehicle horn. You can hear the noise of a prayer in the distant temple. Those are hearing. You're not paying attention. But when we say listening, you have to develop a different set of skill, which we will talk in the next slide. Then comes the visual communication. Visual communication is nothing but what you watch on TV, the posters, the billboards, um, the forwards that you get in WhatsApp with pictures and everything. It could be anything which is visual and is communicating something to you. These are all things that come under visual communication. So in visual communication, it is only an input. You can't communicate back to the visual communication. Again, there is another type called as the non-verbal communication. Usually people use hand gestures, facial expression, and body language, like standing straight or slouching, or having a straight posture or sitting cross-legged. All of these come under non-verbal communication. Then comes the verbal communication, which we think is the only part in communication, but not so. Verbal communication is something that happens when people speak. They verbally communicate things by speech, by language, all of this. Then comes the written communication. So we also communicate with people by writing uh, on a paper, by writing an email, by using technology, all of this. So all these 5 types put together encompasses your communication. Now, to do all of this, we need a medium, right? So let us see how language as a communication can be used as a tool. So here again, language has 4 different skills. The first one is the listening skills. Here, the capacity to interpret the meaning of an audio stream. When you hear something attentively, you're able to unpack the meaning out of it. That is listening and understanding something. Then comes the speaking. It is the capacity to put forth your thoughts and concepts into oral form. You speak what you're thinking and what you already know about. You're packing it into a speech and you're speaking. Then comes the reading, the capacity to interpret the meaning of a written stream. Just like listening, reading is also an input for you. By reading, you're again interpreting whatever you're reading and understand the meaning of it. Finally comes the writing, the capacity to put forth thoughts and concepts into a written form. Earlier, we spoke about speaking about your thoughts and concepts. Here, you will be articulating and writing it on in a written form. So these 4 skills are very important if you have to master your communication skills. Now let us see one by one why each of these skills are important and how we can improve each of these skills so that we can master our communication skills. On average, when people are communicating with each other, they spend 45% of the communicating time only for listening, right? The other 55% will be spent on verbal communication, non-verbal communication, etc., etc. So now you understand the importance of listening. Let us understand what exactly is active listening. Active listening is to listen and respond to achieve mutual understanding. The person who is saying and the person who is listening, both should come at the common understanding. That is the purpose of listening skill. Now, what is the process to listen? Active listening, it is receiving, interpreting the meaning of what you listen and then responding. Now, let us understand what is the importance of listening skills. you have good listening skills, you will be able to understand with clarity and coherence. When a person is saying something, if you attentively listen to him or her, you will understand with clarity what they are trying to convey to you, so that you will understand what should be the next step. Now, with this, you can be able to make decisions more effectively. You can take the right decisions because you fully understand what the other person is speaking with you. By doing this, you can reach agreements with others quickly. Rather than disagreements, you will reach agreements. You can improve relationships because the person knows that you're paying attention to what they are saying and you're acting upon that. It improves your relationship. Again, if you listen properly, if you listen attentively and grasp 100% meaning of what the other person is saying, you will have the power to influence. You can put forth your opinions in a very, very precise way. You can resolve conflicts and problems easily. Now, let us look at the techniques to develop listening skills. We understood what is the importance. Let us look how we can develop listening skills. If you maintain eye contact with the speaker, you will cut out all the distractions and you will give an impression to the speaker that you are paying 100% attention to them. This will motivate them to open up to you. When you're listening to them, visualize what you're listening. You have to visualize as and when they are saying. This not only helps you to retain the information, it will also give you a complete picture when you visualize. Be non-judgmental. When someone is speaking to you, don't be in a hurry and judge them. Wait till the end and you can clarify your doubts or questions. If you start judging them in between, it will hamper your understanding of the entire conversation. Do not interrupt the speaker. Ask questions at the end. Pay attention to non-verbal cues. Sometimes non-verbal cues give out more information than the verbal communication, right? How that person is making their face, what is their facial gesture, what hand movements they are using, how confident are they looking, are they trying to hide something. All of this can be found out through the non-verbal cues. So pay attention to that also. Practice to listen. Listening is a skill. You can develop it and you can master it. How you can do it? With a lot of practice. I will give you some tips on how you can practice listening. There are a lot of podcasts and audio books that are available. You can download apps called Spotify and Audible on your smartphone, or you can even use web on the web also. You can use it on the laptop also. Whenever you're free or whenever you are not actively doing something, put on your earpods or headphones and listen to a lot of podcasts. It not only helps you to listen attentively and practice this listening skill, it will also give you a lot of information, will also give you a lot of knowledge about what's happening in the outside world. um, Indian podcasts is one such website where you can find a lot of trending topics. It is available in a lot of different languages also. So you can, if you can see, I'm scrolling down to show you the different topics and different languages that is available there. If you want to stay on the current happenings in the country and globally, what is happening, please listen to these podcasts. It will help you a great deal. Now that we heard, now that we learned what is the importance and what are the techniques to develop listening skills, let us do a small activity. Hope all of you are ready to participate. I shall begin the activity here. You have to actively listen to be able to do this activity. So I'll give you the instructions here. Listen to the story carefully when I am narrating and answer the question that I ask in the end. So for all of these things, you have to listen very attentively. Let me see who will give me the right answer. Okay. The yellow bus travels from Delhi to Agra. 30 people are on board the bus. 2 people get down at the first stop. 3 people get down at the fourth stop. There are only dash people remaining at the last stop. How many people are remaining? Just put your answer, then I'll have my second question to you. Let me see how many people have been listening attentively. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people have posted their answers. The right answer is 25. Out of 30 people, 2 got down in the first stop, 3 got down in the second stop. So 25 people are remaining at the last stop. Now my next question, what color was the bus? 14 people have answered and very good. 10 people have got it correct. It is the yellow bus. So I see that most of you are listening attentively. So keep up this skill of listening actively. Moving to the next skill. Now I think you know where to listen because I did not stress on the color. Not most, some of them have missed this. What do you say? The color of they have missed attentively to listen to the color of the bus in the beginning. So some of them have got correctly, some of them have got it wrong. Some of them have put it as pink, orange, red and everything. So I'll be clapping for people who got the right answer. Moving on, let's get to the next skill, which is the speaking skill. The importance of speaking skills. Let us understand what are the importance of speaking skills both in your college, workplace, as well as life. Yeah. If you're good at speaking skills, you can convey information with clarity and coherence. For some people, if the sentences or how you speak is lengthy, is ambiguous, they will not be able to understand. Two things can happen here. One, they may get a wrong message from that, or improper, or half half message from that. The other is, if it is an instruction and if it is not conveyed properly, they may not do their job properly. So if you convey information with clarity and coherence, you have a good speaking skill and you can get the job done in a proper way. Put forth your ideas convincingly. If you're good at speaking skills, you know how to speak. There is a saying which says gift of the gab. The person who can speak well can sell sand to a person in the desert, right? So you need to be very good at your speaking skills and you will be able to convince a lot of people around you. You get everybody's attention. People look up to people who are able to speak well. You will have power to influence without authority. You don't have to um, enforce your authority for someone to listen to you. They will, as it is, listen to you because you are so good at speaking. Motivate or develop people effectively. You'll be able to motivate your, not just your team, you'll be able to motivate a lot of people around you if you speak effectively. You can create an effective elevator pitch, whether you're in college looking for an internship or a project from your favorite professor, or you have finished your college and looking for a job. If you create an effective elevator pitch, you will be able to convince the other person that you are fit for that role. So it is a very, very important skill. Don't ever discount the speaking skills in your life. Now let us look at the techniques, how you can develop speaking skills. You have to modulate your tone and use gestures. You can't speak in a plain way, it will not convey meaning. If you are not modulating, whatever you want to say, even 10% is not going across to the other person. So imagine 90% of your speech is depending on modulation, tone, and your non-verbal cues. Develop an ability to read the room. When I say read the room, you have to understand what kind of people you're talking to and adjust your speech according to that. There may be people who are not paying attention. If you have to draw their attention, you should speak in a certain way. All of that comes under your speaking skills. You have to deliver concise and precise information. If your sentences are lengthy, if your sentences has redundant words, repetitive words, unwanted words, nobody will listen to you. They will, in halfway, they will move away. So always make sure you're speaking to the point and it has concise, it is concise and precise. Be self-aware. When you're speaking something, do not divert from the topic. Do not get diverted. Be self-aware and be in control of your speech. Adapt to the listener's pace. Some people need longer time to process what you're saying. Some people need lesser time to process. So accordingly, you have to pace your speech. Be authentic. When people listen to a speaker, they will immediately know if the speaker is bluffing or he is authentic in his speech. So be very, very careful when you're speaking. Be authentic in your speech. Make it a story so that everyone listens to you attentively. Everything can be told in a story form. So create this habit in you. Whenever you're speaking, speak like as if you're telling a story. Use criticism and feedback for improving. Leverage this feedback and criticism to improve your own speaking skills. Keep aside the ego that this person criticized me. Take it as a feedback and improve your speaking skills. Now, when I talk about speaking skills, I will also share with you a web application called as the Small Talk. It is a website. This So this is a website where you can just log in. It is a free website and it can help you to I'll be sharing the link to this website so that you can log in with your credentials. You can create you can sign up for it, create your login credentials, and it will help you to analyze your speaking skills, your reading skills, your vocabulary, your grammar, your intonation. All of that can be understood with this small talk. Right now, moving on. There is also a website called Duolingo. If you still haven't come across this website, this is a website where you can learn new languages. Here we can choose the base language. If it is English, everything, all the instructions for you will be in English. And then here you can get started. You can choose which language you want to learn. You can choose which language you want to learn and it will help you in various ways to acquire this language. So this is also a very useful website. Please, I will be sharing all of this in the handout that I will be sharing with you all. So please take a look at both Smalltalk and Duolingo. Both are free. There is also a paid version where you'll get additional features in both these websites, but the basic website is free for everyone to use. Make use of this so that you can master your speaking, reading skills through small talk and Duolingo to acquire new languages. Moving on, now we understood how speaking skills are important to us and what are the different ways or techniques we can develop that. I would want to ask another poll question here. I'll be sharing a poll. Kindly choose the right option. This is a discussion question. Please look at the question. What do you commonly use speaking skills for? Give examples from both college or workplace. Now we have understood what speaking skills are, why is it important, and different techniques to improve our speaking skills. I want you all to answer, what do you commonly use speaking skills for, or where do you use these skills? You can give examples both from college and workplace. Put your answers in the Q&A section so that we can take a look. Question is, where do you use speaking skills, or what do you use speaking skills for? I know it is workplace, but how do you use? Where have you used speaking skills before? If it is workplace, how have you used? Shaili has mentioned it as workplace. Shaili, can you please tell me how you have used speaking skills at workplace? For what? Okay, no worries. We can see where we can use speaking skills both at workplace and at college. Let me take you to another section where I had already spoken about the importance of speaking skills, and I had stressed on the elevator pitch. Elevator pitch you will be using both in college and at workplace. In college, whether you want to impress your professor to get into a project or to get an internship, and at workplace when you want to apply for a job or apply for a position in the existing company. How do you present yourself or how you introduce yourself? It consists of an elevator pitch can fast track your introduction in an effective way. Let us see how it goes about. It is a quick synopsis of your background and experience. What do we mean by that? Synopsis is, it is a short outline of your background and experience. Background, your educational qualification, other certifications, skill certifications, your experience, whether in college, in clubs, what have you contributed, and what is your long-term goal. All of that consists of the synopsis. So elevator pitch is one of the areas where you will be using your speaking skills. Let us understand more about it. It is all about who you are, what you do, and what you want to do in future, in the long term, in the short term, all of this. But this is a lot of information, right? How can you put it as a small, concise synopsis? Well, elevator pitch, the name itself says, when you want to pitch to someone and you are in an elevator with them, and before the elevator goes from the parking lot to their office on the top floor, you should finish talking about yourself or introduce yourself, which consists of all of these things, right? So it is a very, very creative piece of work that you will be doing. It is very short. It goes from 30 to 45 seconds only. You should be able to cover it within 30 to 45 seconds. And it should have nothing more than 75 to 100 words. So you have to create this pitch, make versions of it, and practice it if you want to present yourself to someone. It has to be personalized. You can't copy it from from the website, or you can't ask Google AI to create it for you. You have to write it on by yourself, because then it will have the personal touch. It will talk about your passion, your skills, your long term and short term goals. It has to be interesting. Remember, we said earlier that you have to narrate everything like a story. Yes, your storytelling skill will come handy here. It has to have an emotional angle to it, and then it has to be persuasive. You should be sounding very confident when you're talking, when you're doing your elevator pitch. It has to be compelling, but it should not be imposing. So it is a very, very balanced pitch. We will also understand what are the different We can look at some examples to understand how an elevator pitch looks like. Then I will take you through step-by-step guide on how you can create your own elevator pitch. So this is the first example. Here, a person who just graduated from college has drafted this. I recently graduated from college with a degree in communications. I worked on the college newspaper as a reporter and eventually as the editor of the arts section. So he started as a reporter and they became an editor of the arts section while in college. I'm looking for a job that will put my skills as a journalist to work. So this is how that person is introducing themselves. This has a very specific skill of the person is talking about very specific skills like reporting and editing, and they're looking for a specific job of a journalist. Now let us look at the second example. I'm a final year science graduate at ABC College who's interested in state-of-the-art applications in the information technology major. I'm interested in working in the field of mobile applications in applied informatics. My current formation in information sharing and online collaboration would be a perfect start to further grow as a mobile application developer with your company. So here, this person is still in the final year, but the person has worked in a specific area of information technology, right? And they are also quoting their long-term goal of what they want to do in future. They want to work in the mobile applications in applied informatics. So they are also saying that a position in this company will help them apply these skills as well as grow and contribute to the company. So this is a very small pitch under 100 words and can be definitely pitched in 30 to 40 seconds. So let us just take a look at how we can create an elevator pitch step by step. First of all, you have to write your full name, what year in school you are, and what majors or minors you are currently pursuing. If you are not in college and if you are already you have finished your course and you're looking for a job, mention which year you graduated, what majors and minors you did in college, what is your specific goal or career interest. Don't just say, I have always wanted to work in human resources without giving a background information, but say that I have taken psychology and business classes and gained leadership skills through office positions in different clubs in my college. Hence, it will be very useful if I also work in the human resources department of your company. So the tone has to be, or the narrative should be in that way. Also include your qualifications, other qualifications like certifications, what other experiences you have, what other achievements you have done, just like in the clubs you have achieved a lot of things. So all that can be concisely put in your synopsis. So now that we know the different things that should go into a elevator pitch, can we take 2 minutes time? I don't want you to share anything, but just for your practice, if you have a notebook and pen with you handy, please write down an elevator pitch which describes you within 75 words. We will take 2 minutes. Please do that exercise. It will help you to practice how to create elevator pitches. Once you have finished writing it, please say yes in the Q&A section or just say finished in the Q&A section. I will understand that you have gone through the exercise. Let's take 2 minutes. The time is 6:48. Exactly at 6:50, we will conclude this activity. You don't have to be expert in this. You are writing it for the first time. So it's okay if you are extending your word limit or if you are trying to include everything, that's okay. This is just the first time. Just If you have finished, please type finished. Then we can move on to the next section. It is the public speaking skills. Most of us are very, very scared to speak in public. But trust me, once you gain these skills, it will be very, very easy. You're currently looking at a person who just 1 year ago was very, very frightened to come in front of an audience to speak. Today, I'm speaking very confidently because I practiced how to speak, what to speak. Let us see why these are important skills and how it can help you both in college and at your workplace. It will help you to take part in debates and discussions with confidence. It will, so when you're debating and when you're having discussions, if you're good at if you're good at speaking skills, you can put forth your ideas very confidently, right? So you will be heard, you will be valued, you will be able to give your dissertations to the panel effectively. Some of you all who are doing your masters and you're in your final semester, even some of you who are doing your undergrad and your you're in final semester, you have to submit your thesis or your dissertations. And it is not just written work, you will have to present it to the panel in your college. So having good public speaking skills will help you to do this very effectively. Like I said in earlier slides, you can actually practice your speaking skills by sitting in front of the mirror or standing in front of the mirror. Practice it couple of times or ask your friend to be your audience and you can practice. I'll come to the techniques later, then I'll talk about it more. In the importance, convince you will be able to convince your peer team with your ideas if you're at work or in college, you're doing a project work. You'll be able to convince your peer team with your ideas if you have good public speaking skills. You can share your ideas and offer solutions to work related problems easily. You can earn you can earn esteem with employers, co-workers, your superiors, and your reportees if you're good at public speaking skills. You can create connections that can lead to new professional opportunities. So as a student or as an employee, you will be attending a lot of fests, events, seminars where you will be given, where you will find opportunities to speak. If you are able to speak effectively to an audience, to the public, you will be noticed, and this will increase your chances of career growth. So put this public speaking skills in your most wanted bag today itself and try to hone them. I'll teach you some techniques to develop public speaking skills. You can join public speaking support group in your city. You can find these easily, or I'll give you a hint at where you can find this after speaking about all the techniques. Attend public speaking events and listen and watch carefully how speakers are using non-verbal cues and their speech. Is it in the form of a story? Are they saying in a way that it connects with the audience? Observe all these things. Watch videos of effective public speaking by expert speakers. Enroll in a good public speaking course. So these are 4 techniques that will help you greatly to hone your or develop your public speaking skills. Here I would like to mention Toastmasters Club. This has a presence in almost every city, in almost every nook and corner of every city, right? Here you can see where you can just type. When you click on the link, you will come to this home page of Toastmasters International. So here I have typed Bengaluru, Karnataka. You can type your city. Then you can even type within what distance you want to find a club. Within 2 miles, within 5 miles, within 150 miles, all the options are here. Once you do that, you can find how many clubs are here. So you can click on the clubs which are present here. whichever is easy for you, whichever day that club is operating, which is convenient to you, you can join that club. Basically, that club has people who can guide you, who can mentor you, and you can learn from others in this Toastmasters club about public speaking. They will help you to improve your vocabulary, improve your speech, intonation, modulation, all of that you can learn here. The other one is the TED Talks, which is available on the YouTube for free. So these TED Talks, you can actually visit and click on any topic that interests you. There are more than 4,300 TED Talks here. These are given by experts in their own fields. You can observe for their body language, intonation, how they weave a topic into a story, how they bring in statistics, how they bring in real life examples, how they make it into a story so that people will get connected to their speech. So these are some of the ways you can hone public speaking skills. So I will cast a poll here. I would want to ask where else. I will come to the poll a little while later. Just give me a moment. I hope all of you have grasped listening and speaking, listening, reading, and speaking skills. Do we have any questions here? Does anyone have any questions? Please let me know. Okay, one of them is asking what is major and minor. So some of the universities offer some subjects as honors subjects, right? Those are major subjects, and other subjects which are not in the honors category become your minor subjects. So this is how you differentiate between major and minor subjects. Does anyone have any questions regarding the content that we discussed so far? Otherwise, we can move ahead. Next skill is the reading skill. Importance of reading skills. You will acquire phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness is nothing but you are aware of all the different sounds that a language has. Then you will acquire phonic awareness. Phonic awareness is when you know what particular letters correspond to sounds. Like A says a, E says a. So you're aware of these sounds. So when you're forming a word or when you're reading a word, you will pronounce it in a proper way. So it is a very important skill to have while reading. If you are good at reading, you have developed fluency. The more you read, the more you'll develop fluency. You will increase your vocabulary. Vocabulary is your ability to use different words. So some people in our daily life, we use only about 1,000 words in our everyday life. But if you want to stand out from the crowd, if you want to stand out from others, then you have to increase your vocabulary. If you're good at reading, you are also good at comprehending. You will be able to comprehend properly. You have an understanding of cues and visuals. You will be able to read at different persons' non-verbal cues. Let us see how we can develop reading skills. Whenever you're reading a text, underline or highlight key phrases. Just by doing that one activity, you are actually imprinting or putting this thing in your long-term memory. You have to make notes. When you make notes, you're actually understanding something, you're interpreting, and you're concisely putting it as your notes. You're summarizing it. Here, you have to question about the author's intended meaning, why the author has said what they have said. Then going through suggested reading. Whenever you're reading an article or a blog, they also come up with suggested reading. If you go through suggested reading, you will get a complete picture. You will get the big picture of it. You can also do enhance your reading skills by setting reading goals every day. Like I said, you if you have if you have subscribed to Small Talk, which is the web application that I talked about, which I will also be sharing with you. If you are part of that Small Talk, they will help you to set your reading goal, and it will send you notification. If you have not completed that reading goal for the day, it will ask you to come on the website and finish your reading goal. Reading different kinds of books and articles can give you a lot of perspectives into how different people write for different topics, whether it is an autobiography, fiction, or any non-fiction, also self-help books. What language or what kind of material or what kind of content they develop for each of these books, you'll get an insight into that. So again, like I said, please enroll into Small Talk. You can have reading goals, you can have speaking goals set on it, and every day you can practice these skills. I will share the link to Small Talk in my handout as well. So now we shall have a small activity for reading. This is a poem by Robert Frost. Read this poem and let me know once you have finished. We can go to the question. Take 2 minutes of your time and read this question. Read this poem. We will take just 1 more minute to finish this, or maybe it's a small poem. Let me go ahead with the question. So what stood out for you in the poem? Let me know what words in the poem has stood out for you, something which has made an impression on you. Please put it in the Q&A section. What words in the poem have attracted you or made an impression on you? Okay, for all those who did not take part in this exercise, let me tell you, this is a poem. Usually poems are not straightforward, giving a meaning straightforward, right? When we read the poem at its face value, it is talking about fire, ice, desire, twice, hate, great. So these are rhyming words, understood. But this also has a deeper meaning to it. What is the poet trying to say? Fire and ice is used as analogy. So you can use you can, instead of a person, emotion, or situation. The poet is not talking literally about fire or ice. The poet is saying fire and ice in the place of a person, an emotion, or a situation. So you can interpret the same poem using emotions like anger and hate instead of fire and ice. If you replace fire and ice with hate and anger, you'll get a different meaning out of the poem. Or talk about climate change using nuclear disaster or human excessive use of fossil fuels, which is greatly increasing the greenhouse gases. So that the poem can also be interpreted in that way. So this is how you need to understand through through different angles what the poet is trying to say. You can even have your own angle to this poem, how you understand this. I hope everyone has done the activity. Let's move on to the next section, which is writing skills. Before this, I want to cast a poll here. Where do you use written skills? The options are emails, essays, assignments, presentations, all the above. Please choose the right option. Nine, 12 out of 32 people have voted. Urge everyone else to be participative. Where all do you use written skills in your life? Be it college, be it workplace, or your personal life. Yeah, at least half the people have voted. 70% of them say all the above situations they use written skills. That's correct. Let's move back to the presentation. Write at least 100,000 words during your college career. Isn't this astounding? When you add up all of these words, that's roughly equivalent to a 330 page book. In your 3-year undergrad and a 2-year master's degree, you would have written 2 books, and you can call yourself an author, because it's not easy to write assignments. You have to do a lot of research, and there is a way to write these assignments. And then when you're looking for a job, 73.4% of employers want a candidate with strong written communication skills. So we can't discount the importance of written communication skills. If you are good at writing, your writing will be comprehensive. It will include all the relevant details. It will be accurate. It will be appropriate. It will have correct spelling and grammar. It will be clear. Everyone can understand it. It will be concise with no extra filler words, extra words, repetitive words, redundant words. Now let us look at the techniques to develop writing skills. Identify and clearly state your goal. When you start to write something, make a note in your book. What is it that you want to achieve at the end of this written activity? Use the right tone. When you're writing, see how you want to present it to the reader. What is the tone that you want to use? How should the reader grasp it? Should it be funny? Should it be serious? Should it be neutral? What kind of tone you want to use? Keep it simple. Don't use unnecessary jargon. Keep it simple. Stay on the topic. Use active voice. Don't mix I wanted to say this and then say this is what I said. Keep an active voice throughout the written statement. Get someone to proofread and be professional in your writing. Don't use rough or abusive words when you're writing something. Now, like most of you said, we use writing skills both for emails, writing essays, writing in different situations. So now that we have understood the importance and techniques to develop the skill, let us see how to use this in all of these situations. The first one is academic writing skills. Since most of you are in college, this will come very handy. In academic skills, in academic writing, most of your assignments are emphasized around knowledge, what you have understood and what you can theorize. From where are you theorizing this knowledge? So it will also have thinking strategies. Do you want to make this assignment an argumentative or a persuasive or a compelling essay? Do you want to put forth your opinions, or are you reflecting on someone else's opinion? So all these thinking strategies will be in the next stage of your academic writing process. Then the research process. From where are you getting the facts for you to put forth your opinion? Are these valid sources? Are these peer reviewed sources? And then you have to keep up with academic integrity. Like when you are writing your paper by looking at other sources, you have to make a citation of the author and from the article that you have taken this information, and you have to write it in your own words. You can't directly copy from the source. You have to write it in your own way. Otherwise, it leads to plagiarism. Using other resources, whether you're using articles, blogs, books by authors, whether you're using library resources or online resources, everything has to be mentioned. And then comes the assessing your writing. You have to go through your writing once yourself and from couple of your friends and professor before you submit it. So University of Maryland Global Campus. I'll be sharing this web link with you. They have in-depth guide on how you can write your academic assignments. So every topic here is a link which will take you to sub links, and it will tell you how to do your exploratory research, how to get notes to your draft, how to make an introduction of your academic writing, what do you need to do before writing, techniques to get started. All of these things are there in this website. I will be sharing the link to it in my handout as well. So don't you worry. I'll just give you an example of how an academic writing looks like. Let me show you the link of University of Maryland here. So this is how the link will take you. This is where the link will take you to. How you have to create a thesis statement, how you have to do exploratory research, how you have to make an introduction, all of this. And then I will take you through a sample academic paper. It is about climate change. If you see, it has an introduction. It has a background, causes of climate change. Here again, it is very in-depth. Impacts of climate change, how you can avoid and adapt strategies to reduce the climate change. Then you also have a conclusion. You have to conclude your paper with your understanding and next steps. Then you also have the references from what other articles you have taken this information from and developed your own theory. So this is how an academic paper looks like. So next place where we use academic, writing skills is email and its different types. We all use emails in our daily life. It can be an informal mail written to your friends, relatives, family, and classmates, or it could be a formal mail where you're writing to your co-workers, teammates, and other professional communication, which includes writing to your superiors, writing to your external partners, or to government officials, right? All of these come under formal mail. Let me show you examples of both informal and formal mails. An informal writing skill, to write an informal mail, you have to follow these steps. The subject line should be included and it has to be entertaining or inviting for an informal mail. A casual greeting, just like hi or hey, all this can go in your informal writing, casual greeting. Name of the recipient to whoever you are writing. Explain the context around your message, why you're reaching out to them and what you want from them. Include a brief about why you're discussing through this mail and what is it that you're discussing through the mail. A casual sign off like see you later or bye can also do in your informal sign off with your name at the end. Let us look at an example. This is a mail written by Aprajita to Rebecca for group studies for statistics, right? Then I will be sharing all these examples in my handout. You can take a look at it. It has a very casual tone to it. It has very casual greeting and casual sign off. Here, Dhruv is writing to Rajiv about asking him about his opinion on bike pooling if he wants to join him. These are informal writing skills. For formal writing skills, your practical subject line addresses why you're writing with a formal greeting like hello or dear sir, name of the recipient, discuss the important background information, before you start the actual topic, you have to give a background information, and then craft the body of the message in clear and direct way. End with a call to action. That is, what next steps you have to take as a person who is sending the mail as well as person who is receiving the mail. A formal sign off with your name, title, company name, and contact information. So this is the subject. Follow up about our meeting. Hello, Stephen. And Ruchi Mehra is writing to Stephen saying that they earlier had a meeting and this is a follow-up mail to discuss and when they are able to get back on a meeting. And she's asking, as a call to action, she's asking Stephen to forward any of the attached documents to the team if they would like more information about her company. Here, she's signing off with respectfully Ruchi Mehra. Her title in the company name, and contact information, right? So this is how a formal mail should look like. Now, I will show you what a non-example for a mail looks like. We saw that what are all the different steps we took. If one of you can point out at one mistake in this mail for a formal mail, I will understand that you have been listening very attentively. Can any of you point out to any one mistake? There are a lot of mistakes, but I want each of you to point out at one mistake at least. Put it in the Q&A section. The subject line is not there. Lokesh is saying subject line is missing. Yes, Lokesh, correct. Subject line is not there. Good observation, Lokesh. I'm seeing if anyone is able to make any observations here. Otherwise, we can move ahead. We are short on time also. A good example, if the same mail to the same person is written, it will look something like this. I will also share these examples in the handout that I will be sharing. So you can take and make comparisons later at leisure. So that we have completed all different ways of communication, its importance, and different ways to improve those, develop and improve those skills. If you have any questions, we can take that now or we can move ahead because we are short on time. So let us look at the benefits of having good communication skills. It will help you, develop your interpersonal skills. This is the secondary skill that you will be developing through communication skills. What will you gain through interpersonal skills? You can build strong relationship between the people that you communicate. You can resolve conflicts either in your workplace or at your study place. You can develop empathy and understanding because you're a good listener and a person who is able to comprehend everything. You can develop cross-cultural communication. In this era of globalization, it is not a given that you'll stay in the same place as your home. You'll be traveling either for work or for studies. Here you will come across people with cultural differences. Will you be able to respect that? How will you recognize these differences? What means something in your culture may mean differently in other culture. So if you are a keen observer, if you are a person who listens to people and explore everything, you'll recognize cultural differences and you will respect them. You'll overcome language barriers. If you're a good communicator, you can use visual and non-verbal communication to overcome the language barriers. You will have respect and inclusivity in the society where you'll respect all kinds of people coming from different backgrounds, coming from different ethnicity, all of that. You will leverage technology for your communication, like sending out emails, social media do's and don'ts. You'll understand what you can do, how you can leverage social media, and all the other virtual communication tools you will use to leverage your communication. In professional settings, you will excel in your job interviews and resume writing, networking and elevator pitches, workplace communication etiquette. You know how to communicate with your peers, colleagues, your superiors, and your reportees. And communication in academics, we just went through a lot of exercises where you can be, when you are good at speaking skills, you can participate in your class discussions, you can communicate with your professors and peers, you can have effective group work and collaboration, collective professionalism. You can bring a team together if you're a good speaker, if you're able to convince people, develop critical thinking skills. You can be confident in social gatherings because you can contribute to the communal conversations. You can develop academic writing skills. Now these are all the benefits to communication skills. Let me ask you, if you had previously any challenges while communicating with others. What challenges did you encounter while communicating with others previously? Sanjay Kumar is asking for certificate. Yes, Sanjay, if you stay till the end and fill up the feedback form, you will definitely get your certificate. I haven't got any responses for these challenges. Let me move ahead. Let us look at the different challenges or barriers people encounter in their everyday communication. It could be emotional barriers and taboos. If you are very happy or very sad about something, at that particular moment, it will hamper your understanding at that moment when someone is speaking to you. Or if you have taboos about something, you will receive the message in a different way. Taboos are, you will not openly talk about relationships or something like that in our culture. Those are taboos. You are not allowed to speak something in the public according to the environment that you have been brought up in. So these things can become a barrier to understand or communicate. Lack of attention, interest, distraction, relevance can become a barrier to communication. If you are experiencing a distraction, maybe someone is distracting you or there is a loud noise, you will be distracted and you can lose interest in communication. So stay away from that, go to a calm place and continue the conversation. So when you're talking to a person who has inability to hear or speak, you might have to use non-verbal cues. This will greatly bring down the barrier to communication. People with physical inability for non-verbal communication will only be able to speak or write. So respect that and understand in depth with further questions from them. Language differences can also be a barrier. Unfamiliar accent and jargon. Jargon means difficult words. All these can become barriers to communication. Don't hesitate to get clarification from the person. Ask a question politely and understand what they are trying to say. You will have your own expectations and prejudices when you're talking to someone. Prejudices can become judgments when you're speaking to someone. So set aside prejudices. Don't have expectations. Go with an open mind. Differences in perceptions and cultures. We have spoken about this when we were talking about advantages. So these are some of the barriers to communication, and you can be very mindful, be patient enough to overcome these barriers and still be able to communicate with people. These are some of the things that I wanted to say. And quickly to summarize, we have understood what communication skills mean, why it is important to you both at your college and workplace as well as your personal life. What are the different communication skills are out there for you to improve for you to master the communication skills, that is using language as a tool and the different aspects of language that you can master so that you become good at communication skills. We have done a lot of activities. We have looked at a lot of websites which can help you. I'll be sharing all of this with you in the handout. So these are some of the things that we covered today. What are the advantages and what are the barriers to communication as well. So if you have any questions, please. Someone is asked a question already. When some person has a disability to speak, like stammering, what should they do? I think there are a lot of therapies available for people who are stammering. You have to enroll that person into this therapy class where they will step by step, bring down the stammering in that person, and over time they will be able to overcome that inability. So this is one question I got. If we don't have any more questions, let me share the feedback link with you all. The feedback form looks something like this. And I will share the link with you in the box. So this is the feedback link. A very few questions. You just have to click on it on each of the question to be able to write the give us the feedback. I'm sharing this feedback form here in the Q&A section. Please click on it and give your valuable feedback. Once you fill up the feedback form, we will be able to share the certificate with you. So someone is asking, what should we do when we want to talk to someone and we are not able to start the conversation? So why you are unable to start the conversation, I need to know that reason to be able to answer. If you are unable to start the conversation because that other person is continuously speaking, then you might have to wait till the person finishes and then start a conversation. If you're unable to make a conversation because you're not confident enough, that is an area where you have to work on yourself. But unless I know the reason why you're unable to start the conversation, I won't be able to help you. Please, if you can give me the reason, I can be more specific with my answer. Meanwhile, I have shared the feedback form. Kindly fill up the feedback form to get your certificates. The link to the feedback form is still in the Q&A section. Thank you all for staying till the end. I could have been more elaborate in the last few slides, but for the lack of time, I had to, make it more concise. Hope you all had great takeaways from this webinar. Stay tuned for our future webinars. It might help you in your college as well as your jobs. So keep a lookout on what webinars Vardhana is coming up with. You can subscribe to Vardhana's Facebook page. You can subscribe to Vardhana's YouTube channel where we will be posting these webinars every week as and when it gets over. So you can watch this webinar again if you have any doubts in our Vardhana YouTube channel. Any other questions I can take? How to avoid shyness to start conversation? So when you develop speaking skills, it is a systematic process. You will not get it within a day. Jovin is asking how to avoid shyness to start a conversation. So this is my response. It is not a one-day activity. Systematically, you have to develop your speaking skills and listening skills. Once you do that, you will be confident to face any kind of conversation. Please use small talk. That will help you both with reading and speaking skills. Make sure you have set your daily goals, your weekly goals on small talk. Sign up on it, log in with your credentials and start using this web application today itself. It will help you in a great way to hone your listening, reading and speaking skills. Also join Toastmasters Club where you get peer-to-peer learning And also there are mentors and coaches to help you. There are no more questions. I think we can conclude the webinar. Do we have any more questions? We only had 2 questions so far. So if you have questions, kindly put it on the Q&A section, or we can end the webinar.